Shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishop, and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessing be multiplied on all you brethren out there preaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect, the 144,000, and the rest of the elect out there, shalom. I'm the brother Damar Gabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right, and I thought this was hilarious, right? I just came across this video where it says victims of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade. All right, and you got this guy, Antonio Gutierrez, Secretary General of the United Nations, on the International Day of Remembrance of the Victim of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade. You know, he gives this little whack-ass, punk-ass, pussy speech about, you know, how transatlantic slavery was wrong and we need to make it right, and you know it was ugly and it was an injustice and blah blah blah. We got to do all that we can to repair and all this other bullshit. Which at the end of the day, all right, there's no sacrifice, there's no apologies, there's no amount of talking that you can do that's going to get you out of what you have done to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right, you're going to pay for this, for the transatlantic slave trade, man. You're going to pay for taking the Lord's people, which we're not. That's another thing. We're not Africans. We never were Africans, all right? We're the Israelites. And if you really wanted to repair and you really wanted to make things right, you know, you would have came in this speech and you would have corrected the lie of labeling us as Africans. You would have told the truth that that the people that was taken from the west coast of Africa, they really weren't Africans, but they were the Israelites. All right. We stole God's people. We stole his chosen, precious people and did horrific and terrible and unmentionable things to the people of God. And, you know, and, you know, this is just all words. It's all fluff and puff. And your commemoration is not accepted. And guess what? It's not going to be accepted by us. It's not going to be accepted by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, because there's already a judgment written that you're going to have to pay for what you have done. All right. And you're apologizing, you know, and your words don't mean shit because they're all coming from, you know, they're not even real. Because you know what? Because if you was really sorry and you really wanted to make it right, it would be more than just words, man. Like I said, first and foremost, you would have told the Israelites who they truly were. All right. You would have repaired them. You would have made, you know, you would have gave them reparations. You would have you know, you would have gave them more than just words. All right. This whole thing that he's saying is all empty. It's all bullshit. It don't mean a goddamn thing because, you know, what scripture say? Never trust thine enemy. You know, like it says, you know, enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee in the pit. And this is all Esau giving these smooth words for you simple-minded Jake to basically to accept his apology and to let your guard down and to feel like this man has changed. He ain't changed. He's still the same old devil, the same old rat bastard. And he don't feel sorry about what he did to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans or to the Israelites. Hey, they take pride and honor. They relish in the fact that they were able to conquer you, Jakes. Read Lamentations, man, the 4th chapter. It tells you how these devils were glad when they took us down. This was the day that they was waiting for when they were able to get their hands on us, when they were able to enslave us, you know, put crack in your neighborhoods, keep us completely, lost and, you know, and broken, filled with trauma. You know what I mean? These devils never want to make what they did right. Because it was by what they done unto us is how they were able to assume the position that they did. So this is all bullshit. It's not accepted. It's all just bullshit words coming from Satan, man. But like I said, hey, you can say these words all you want to, but that's not going to deliver you out of the judgment that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai set for you, man. Oh, matter of fact, yeah, let me play this shit. Listen to this shit.
Commemorate the victims of a staggering crime. Millions of people stolen from their...
Hey, well, at least he said it was a crime, you know. But hey, guess what? When you commit crimes have penalties. What have you paid for the crimes that you've committed? You haven't. And guess what? You're not going to hold yourself guilty. These other nations of the world are not going to hold you guilty. That's why Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is the ultimate judge, and he's going to find you guilty on all charges, and it's already written.
Families and communities in Africa, trafficked across the Atlantic. And if they survive the journey, enslaved in the Americas. Millions more were born into bondage, brutally exploited for their labor, and denied their basic humanity. We honor their quiet resilience and courageous acts of open resistance. This global order prevailed for over 400 years and haunts our world even now. In systems and institutions shaped and enriched by chattel slavery, in social and economic inequalities rooted in past injustices, and in biases that permeate our culture and impact us all. In terms of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade, we are called to confront these legacies. By rejecting the false narrative of racial difference and the ugly lie of white supremacy, by dismantling racism,
unfairly fired.
Fucking Slakia, god damn it, you piece of shit.
Today we commemorate in past injustices and in biases that permeate our culture and impact us all. On this International Day of Remembrance of the victims of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade, we are called to confront these legacies. By rejecting the false narrative of racial difference and the ugly lie of white supremacy, by dismantling racism online, in the media, in schools, at work, in politics, and within ourselves.
You see, but everything that he's saying, we've been exposing this heavily. You know, starting with the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, you know, the men of the Lord. We've been coming out on a grand level and exposing all this bullshit, man. You see, but like I said, yeah, he's saying this, but they're not going to do a goddamn thing about it. They're not going to redirect or change this system or where it's going to totally benefit or repair, you know, our people, man. You see, this is just all words of nothing. These words don't mean nothing, man, because like I said, if they really meant it, then they would do something about it. Not just give a speech, not just give these words and finally try to admit that, yeah, you know, it was wrong and it was a terrible system and we benefited from it. And now we can't pretend as if, you know, that this system is inherently evil and corrupt and, you know, slanted against, you know, these so-called people of color, blah, 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 blah. It's too late. It's already too late. These things are being exposed, and the only thing that left is for Yahweh Shai to come in to judge these devils, man.
And by working for truth, justice, and repentance.
And that's a lie, because Esau doesn't stand for truth, justice. All right? Those are not in his DNA. Those are not part of his character, man. He's the devil, and the devil that the Bible speaks of. He's the wicked. He's corrupt. He's anti-truth. He's anti-justice, man. And he is not going to repair you Negroes, Latinos, and Native America. I just saw a video the other day where this whole situation with this Trump administration and this war in Iran, you had one of his spokespersons said, basically, we know that this war is going to affect the consumer and basically the everyday people, and that's the least of our concerns. So if they don't give a damn about the average American citizen, how much more you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man? This man don't give a one iota of a F about any of us, man. You see? And this is why these words don't mean shit. We don't trust you. We don't believe you. These words don't mean nothing, man. Hey, as far as we're concerned, you're better off not even saying these words, because we know they don't mean shit. You're not going to stand on it. And it's just, you know, loose bullshit, man. All right. And we don't want your apology. We want your ass, man. Hey, we want the judgment of Yahweh Shem Shai, which I'm going to read.
I welcome the initial steps by some governments to address the consequences of slavery.
Well, that's it. Hey, well, I'll show you the righteous consequences of slavery, my guy, Antonio. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. You see? You see that? He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, you see? And this is what we're waiting for. And this is what we know the Lord is getting ready to bring to you damn devils. True justice. True punishment for your crimes, man. You reap what you sow. You see, but these devils don't want to hear that. Oh, you guys are racist. Oh, you guys are so violent. The Hebrew Israelites, they want to put us in slavery. You know, I didn't put you in slavery, blah. You know, every excuse they got in the book, man. You see, but we're gonna read you the true justice of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and this is what is gonna happen unto you, man. Whether you want to believe it or not. This is Isaiah chapter 33, verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. You see that, Esau? You're getting ready to be spoiled, and we can already see the stage being set. where the Lord is setting up to where you're being broken down. All right, you're losing your esteem, you're losing your power, you're losing your authority, you're losing your grip on this world, and the Lord is setting you in slippery places to where your judgment is going to come down upon you, man. Hey, and when Yahushua crack those clouds, it's going to be on, game on, like Wayne, Wayne World would say, game on. It's going to be game on for you, man. It says, when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. You see that? You see, and these Edomites and these elites can feel it down their spine that the jig is up, that their time is coming, man. Hey, these devils, they're terrified, brothers. They know what the prophets and the men of the Lord, what we truly signify, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. This is why they're trying to do everything that they can. Eventually, to ban this word, to try to make it illegal, and eventually to come down with the sword, because that's pretty much all Esau has left in his arsenal. But we know what that's going to be met with when Yahushua returns, all right? Let me get this. Ezekiel 35:6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Slakia. Yep, this is Ezekiel 35:3. And say unto it, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh. You see that? And Esau knows this applies to him, and he knows that his day is coming. Hey, like brothers doing a video with that Project Looking Glass, every scenario and every calculation and every, window Esau looked out of, he saw that his future, it always ended the same way, and him ultimately being destroyed. His system being taken down, him being judged and broken, and ultimately receiving, the judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And he's going to give you a bloodbath of your own, man. I'm reading this in the NLT. I love it. 35:6 in the NLT. As surely as I live, says the sovereign Yahweh, since you show no distaste for blood, I will give you a bloodbath of your own. Your turn has come. It says, I will make Mount Seir utterly desolate, killing off all who try to escape and any who return. And I will fill your mountains with the dead, your hills, your valleys, and your ravines will be filled with the people slaughtered by the sword. And I will make you desolate forever. Your cities will never be rebuilt. Then you will know that I am Yahweh. For you said the lands of Israel and Judah will be ours. And who's in the land right now trying to bring this greater Israel project? These tiny tops: Esau, Edom, Amalek, Edomites. It says, we will take possessions of them. We do not care that Yahweh is there. You see? Therefore, as surely as I live, says the sovereign Yahweh, I will pay back your angry deeds with my own. I will punish you for all your acts of anger, envy, and hatred, and will make myself known to Israel by what I do to you. You see? Then you will know that I, Yahweh, have heard every contemptuous word you spoke against the mountains of Israel. For you said they are desolate. They have been given to us to eat as food. Hey, and you literally ate Jake. Read the Delectable Negro, man. You see, but you had it in your heart that once you had us in your possession, you can do with us whatever you want. Like I said, put crack in our communities, man. Stole our identities. Put abortion clinics, man. You literally tried to slaughter and totally destroy our people completely. Called us 2/5 of a human being, or 3/5, however it goes, so that you can do all type of inhumane and diabolical shit unto us and be justified in doing all this wickedness, rape, robbery, murder, experimenting on Jake because you classified us as less than human, man. You don't think you're gonna pay for that, man? You're gonna surely pay for all of it, man. It says, in saying that, you boasted proudly against me, and I have heard it all. This is what the sovereign Yahweh says. The whole world will rejoice when I make you desolate. You rejoiced at the desolation of Israel's territory. Now I will rejoice at yours. You will be wiped out, you people of Mount Seir, and all who live in Edom. Then you will know that I am Yahweh, man. So the hell with these empty words. The hell with this fucking commemoration. Don't mean shit. All right, because you ain't gonna do shit about it, and we don't want you to do anything about it. We want the judgment of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for your ass, man. And hey, like I said, and your time has come. So hey, with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. I pray that you were edified. Into the next one, shalom.